Hello, want to watch me make a headpiece out of lemons? Well, stick around and I'll show you how. Hello, I am going to take you through the creation of a headpiece. Normally I do floral headpieces, but today we're going to do one with lemons. I have a concept that I'm going to be doing with a lemon headpiece, and I actually created that on AI. I got on there and I got some ideas. I just put in woman with a giant lemon headpiece. And so it just gave me some ideas and some inspiration. So I'm kind of working off of that a little bit. And so I just kind of wanted to show you how I go through this process. So basically what you want to do is you want to have everything all ready. And that's called mise en place. And I don't know if they use that my son's a chef and they use that all the time when they're going to cook. They have everything all around them, everything chopped and every spice, everything they need, they have it all ready to go. It just means everything in place. So it's really important when you're building headpieces and anything that you kind of have everything ready to go. And some of the tools of the trade are obviously hot glue gun, and I would suggest having 2 glue guns. A lot of extra glue. You don't want to run out of that. It's important to have a wire cutters or needle nose, that type of thing. Scissors for cutting leaves, because sometimes I trim the leaves and the little nippy things on the bottom. So it's important to have that. Have all of your flowers or your fruit or whatever you're going to put in your headpiece all together. You want to already have everything snipped. I'm going to show you a separate video to make a flower headpiece. This one is basically just going to be fruit. So I have a whole bunch of extra leaves that I have from other projects where I just use the flowers and not the leaves. And this I'm going to cover the whole piece with the leaves and then add the lemons on. You'll see as I go through my process. And then I usually build it on one of these styrofoam headpieces. They do sell some that are a little bit heavier weighted that I just don't happen to have one. I'll put a link for those. But I just tape it on the table and it's fairly sturdy. So what I do, you have to have something to build the base. And so what I did was I kind of invented something. I don't know if it's the best way, but I take milk jugs and I cut them up. So I cut them up 2 different ways. One is I take this top portion and cut it out so it's kind of has this curve to it that fits nice and snugly on the back of the head. And so it's sort of just like a half of one. So this is one I made with that. You can see the plastic underneath. And I just built it on that. And you place it on the head and then you can just use some clips to clip it in the hair. And this is something that's probably not going to be 360 degrees, but I make a lot of my headpieces and stuff with that half of milk carton. So that's the other fruit one I did like that. And this headpiece I did the same way. So you can see from the front it looks full, but from the back it's not a mullet, obviously, because there's no party in the back, but I don't know what that would be called, reverse mullet, maybe. Anyways, and then the other one is, like for this one, I do want it more 360 degrees. Like this floral headpiece is a 360 degree headpiece. And that is built on more of the bottom of the milk jug. So that one you can, what's kind of nice with these, you can make it a little bit different in the back and the front and sort of get 2 for 1. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with the base that I cut, basically just cut the bottom off the milk jug. And the average woman's head is, unless you're making this for a guy, you might have to measure a guy's head, but is around 22, 23 inches. So what I do is I cut like a V out of the back side of the milk jug so that it has some give and it can fit over the head like that. So Another issue that it's not an issue. Normally I just build off of this and build it kind of tall. But for my lemon one, I want it really tall. So I had to think of a way to make a base higher than this. My first thought was like screen, like a thick screen or mesh or like even a chicken wire, something lightweight. But I didn't have any of those. So what I did have, I found in my garage this like plastic bag that's very thick plastic, that's very kind of pliable. And I cut the corner out so that I could manipulate the corner and maybe staple it on here in such a way. And a lot of this is experimental with me today because I've never done this before, but that's sometimes the fun of doing something like this. So what I'm going to probably do is just staple this all the way around so that I have kind of like a cone head, and that'll be my base that I cover things with. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I kind of finagled and stapled. So I have kind of like it almost looks like a pope or a bishop's hat right now. But so my first thing I'm thinking about doing is trying to cover most of it with green first, and then I'll put the lemons over the green. That way I don't have like kind of empty spaces. And then my plan is to go in between some of the lemons and put some of the smaller leaves and the smaller lemons. So when you build something like this, you want to start with the larger, like if the larger part first. Like I'll do the leaves and then I'll do the lemons, and then you fill it in with the smaller leaves and the little details in the smaller lemons. I considered maybe doing little white or yellow flowers. I'm not sure yet if I'll do that, but I don't have anything ready today for that. So I think I'm just going to do lemons. Hopefully I can fill it up. And if I can't, I don't know because my session's tomorrow. So normally I would just order more. So lemons, I got these off of Amazon. They came, I think I have 20 in my pack. And then I also had another pack that I had in my studio for some sessions I did. These ones are a little bit bigger. These ones I got at Hobby Lobby. So they're a little bit different sizes, which I like. I like having different sizes. And then I'll have these little ones that I can pull off and put in there with a little bit of green. So I've got some good options. I think what I'm going to do is start with my smaller ones, see how much I could fill in, and then I'd rather not have to glue gun these on because these I'd like to keep for other sessions and stuff. But I'm sure if it's hot glued on, it can come off pretty easy because it's plastic. So, oh, and then I got these slices, lemon slices, and I'm going to probably see if I can put some of those in there. Um, I I might do some lemon slices with her in the session, but for that, I do want real lemons because I want that to be authentic, but I'm not going to put real lemons in the hat because that would be gross. So anyway, so I am going to put this backwards towards me and work with it, and then I'll kind of show you every once in a while. I do have another camera filming from the top, so I can show you that video as well. So what I am doing is these have little, I left the end on, and I think for these I'm going to take this off because I want this to kind of lay flatter. So these are pretty easy. I don't need the wire cutters. These I'm just going to cut with my scissors. And like I said, these are just leaves from other random flowers that I got. And this is going to be my base. I have a nice clean base. And most of this is literally just doing it, just kind of playing around with it. Like I said, I've never done one like this before. So I am just kind of going by the seat of my pants. So if I mess up, then you get to see me mess up. But what I want to do is put it on, and I want to have it come right over the edge of the hat part because I don't want people to see the edge of that. This lovely netting. And don't be afraid to use your hot glue. And you'll probably glue your fingers a few times. Yeah, as we all do. You might have to hold it for a couple minutes, a couple seconds, and just kind of holding it down until it catches. And then I kind of place my second one. What I'm doing is I'm putting the glue on the spine on there and then down on the bottom so it grabs. I already need a new glue stick in there. Get one heating up so that one can push the first one down. All right. All right. Oh, see, that one already fell down. Already drooped. You're all sitting there watching this saying, it fell, and I can't hear you saying anything. All right. Yeah, there's no such thing as too much hot glue. All right, so now this one's going to go on. And I start from the bottom, and then I layer going up so that they're overlapping. You want it to look kind of natural too, so. But a lot of these are just going to get covered with the lemon. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the big ones. So like I am working from there. Okay, so I'm going to put a little one. I'll put a big one. Just squeeze a lot of glue right down that spine. We can tack down any loose stuff if we want later. That I'm going to put like that. I'll turn it around if I can while I'm working. So I want the bottom to just kind of be a little bit more organic. All right. So I got 3. This might not be a 360-degree one, but we're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll put a little one over here. My glue gun squeaks. Squeak, squeak. I don't know if you can hear it. You probably can't because it's literally right on top of the microphone here. All right. Sorry about that if it was squeaking on you. I'll probably edit that out if it's annoying. Don't want to annoy you guys. All right. So I'm going to get the petal. All right. Another one. We're going to put this right. Oh, yeah. Right in the front. It's amazing how much glue that you go through. So I have probably created like 30 different floral headpieces just for my own fine art sessions. I also have a workshop called the Lux Workshop that I teach every spring here in Minnesota. And I have about 6 attendees that come to that. I want it to be a very small little group. And I have a small studio too. So that's about all can handle with a couple models in there and lights and people. And I do a little class on, we make headpieces and stuff. And so I let them kind of go through. I collect flowers. I'm starting right now because my workshop's in about a month. So I'm starting to collect flowers and stuff, and I throw it all on a table, and we just put some good music on and maybe have a glass of wine, and we all make headpieces and stuff, and they can use it in class or they can bring it home or whatever. But it's kind of just fun to just get creative and play a little bit. It brings me back to grade school. I used to love love class when we got to do arts and crafts in school. And then I got into, that was grade school. When I got into high school, it was an elective. So we didn't have to take it. But of course, I was the only one, only one in class in high school, the only one that took art. And, um, and so she put me in she didn't want to take up a whole classroom to put me in. So she put me in the supply room. So she would put me in there and she'd say, okay, make, make something and then show me in a week. And so I used to sit in this little supply room all by myself. Half the time I'd run around the hallways and, bug my friends, look in their classroom and stuff. But I did. I'd made some fun projects and obviously I had all the supplies I wanted right there. So that was really, really kind of fun. But yeah, I mean, I've always been artsy, always making things, drawing things, taking pictures of things. My degree is graphic design, so um, I've kind of always been in that world. Okay, so I'm just going to show you here. I would love to have probably another dozen of these so I could really cover it. I'm going to work on the top. I think I have a couple. I have these big ones. I think what I'll do is kind of finish it off with these. They're a little bit smaller, but we're at least going to get the front done here. Okay, so I got my headpiece pretty much done. So I was able to add the other leaves on the back. So I was able to get it 360 degrees. Now I don't really pay attention to the color of the leaves because I know that's easy to change in post. These particular ones are probably almost going to get covered, but I almost kind of wish I would just leave it like this because I'm doing a little garden fairy. Well, this is kind of Peter Pan-ish, garden fairy-ish. But I came here to make lemons and I'm going to make lemonade. So anyway, so now we're going to see, I don't even know if these lemons are going to stick or not. So since I'm looking at the front here, so you have to bear with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of spread them around and then fill in just to make sure I have enough. And I don't know if this is going to hold, but I guess we'll find out. One thing when you're working with this hot glue, you get all these stringy things, but those you can always get rid of later. All right, so we're going to test it out. Let me squirt a bunch on. First one, we're going to test it out. Okay, I'm going to hold it on there for a little while. I'll build it sideways. Now, in the back, I left a little space in case I need to cut it to fit on a head. If I'm trying to make it so that it would fit about 23 inches. I'd rather have a little bit big and clip it than to have it too small and not fit. But I can always cut that more of the plastic and the mesh to kind of open it up the back a little bit. So let's see. Oh, that's going to stick. All right. So my idea is going to be kind of to put them different directions and stuff. So there's like, so that they kind of fall different ways. I don't want all my lemons to kind of be in the same direction. So I'm going to put on a few here. So now, do you know what a lemon's favorite dance is? It's the twist. I actually love lemons. I never really paid attention to lemons until I lived in Guatemala because they have lemons with everything. I mean, they do so much with lemons in their cooking, and I just found a love of lemons, and so now I love everything lemon. Lemon, lemon, lemon. Give me more lemon. Okay. I'm going to try to see if I can come over here and do it on the side so you can kind of see. All I need is these to hang on till tomorrow. And then we're going to be good. So I think I'm going to put this one kind of endwise, like that. All right. Those ones are going to take a little bit longer to hold, I think. I might need some supporting guy down here. But it's fun to just kind of go get ideas. You can always go on AI and, you know, try to get different ideas, or maybe Pinterest, or, you know, sometimes you never know where you can get inspiration from. I get it from all over. I don't know what made me think of wanting to do lemons, but all right. I'll probably do another video tomorrow behind the scenes of my lemon shoot and upload another video and link it here so you can kind of watch it. All right, I'm going to work on this a little bit here. Okay, so I got this far with it. The back, there wasn't enough for the back, as you can see, so I'm just going to do with what I have. So basically, I had enough to do like the front half, let's say half, 3/4. I had 30 lemons that I got from Amazon, plus I put 6 of my big ones in that I had. So I have 36 lemons on here. So I'm guessing you probably need about 50 lemons to cover the whole thing. So I'm just going to go with what I have here. So, and a couple tips as well. I was able to work pretty fast with this and with flowers. When you have a good setup, you can work pretty fast. So I would suggest to have 2 hot glue guns and then just alternate them, because if you're working fast, your hot glue gun doesn't have enough chance to heat up the glue in there, and then you're you're trying to squish out cold glue. So I would suggest to have 2 hot glue guns set up so you can alternate those. And the other thing is, like, sometimes when you're working on it, you want to work from the center out to the edge. Excuse me. And so it can get kind of top heavy. So what I did when I was working on it, you can kind of see it once a tip, is I was taking like a big push pin and just kind of pushing it in. And I felt really bad because I was like pushing into her skull, but whatever, I don't think she felt it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of fill in with leaves, and I want smaller leaves, with leaves and maybe smaller, like these wouldn't be so bad. Here, I'm going to turn it a little bit. So where did I poke her in the face? There it is. I'm going to work on it sideways like this so you can kind of see it. There it goes. Okay. So I'm just kind of seeing where these fit. Now I'm going to cut off. Sometimes I even cut into the leaf so that it's like half a leaf or kind of 3/4. I cut off the edge like that. And then that way, you know, you can plop it in and you don't have like the whole thing hanging out. So, so what I might do is kind of fill in with some of these leaves, because I think I want some green. Otherwise it's too boring. That would give it some more like depth and interest instead of just all yellow. And there are gaps in between a lot of these lemons, and so that's kind of what we want to fill in, some of those gaps. So let me grab, I've got a whole bunch of these, and kind of cut that bottom edge off. And we're going to fill that in. Ouch. Gotta be careful. Don't be like me and burn yourself. I don't know how many times I do. I mean, they do. Some people wear gloves. I think they even have like little finger covers for people like me that work fast and tend to burn their hands. Let's put this one down in here. Let's see, let's find another one. Sometimes you kind of have to scope it out before you get the glue on. Let me kind of put it forward so you can kind of see what it's doing. It's kind of filling in there. And then I'm going to see about some of these. These are also some cool, sometimes leaves come with a little bit of wire in them, and that's really nice because then you can kind of like shape them. These don't, but this has little blossoms. I kind of like the blossoms on this. So I think what I'm going to do, get my wire cutters. And so I'm just cutting this off with a little bit of the green and the lemon, and then that we're going to kind of, you know, put in there. Oh, now I don't know if I like that blossom or not. I'm going to put it in with the blossoms, and then I'm going to, I think, decide later if I like them or not. And I can always take them out. I just burnt myself again. Oops. Okay. The little baby lemons. So I should count my baby lemons because you want to like make sure you don't want to put them all on one side and then run out. So you always want it. That's why the mise en place is important, to get all your stuff laid out so that you know exactly what you have. So I've got a bunch of those. Here, this one's got a lime on it. I don't want the lime, but I want the lemon. So I think this one, I'm just going to take the lemon off. That one doesn't have a blossom. And then this, there's some blossoms, but there's no lemon. Go figure. I'm going to like take the blossom in case I want that. So let's see what we have over here. Well, there's a lemon without a blossom. I've got a bunch of random, like little tiny flowers, like in bags and stuff, and I can go later if I want blossoms and fill in with blossoms. But right now I'm just grabbing these lemons. Although I love limes. Actually, you know, I mentioned I started liking lemons when I lived in Guatemala. They actually eat limes more than lemons. And where we eat, their lemons are green and our limes are green, and you get really mixed up. But everything they put limes on everything. That's what I love. I love limes. But I love lemonade. I don't like limeade. So isn't that weird? I don't know. Okay, so we got that. Now here's one here. We got a couple here. This one I might grab with the leaves. And here's one with a little leaf. All right. I got some small leaves. I got some big leaves. I want my small leaves. Some blossoms. Got everything in this place. And then I won't mess these up yet. Oh, here's some more. One more. Get that little blossom, the lemon. All right, so I'm just going to start filling this in and I'll show you when I'm all done. So there you have it, my lemon headpiece. So what I decided was not to put these in there because they would add like a really cool texture and element, but they just look too plastic. So I didn't want to ruin it with that. Not that these don't look plastic, but they look a little bit more real. And I decided to go with the blossoms because I thought that gave it an extra element of dimension because it's a little bit white. I wish I would have had a few more, but I ran out. And I have a whole bag of random other little flowers, but it just didn't look right. So I think I'm going to stop here, and you can see this when I do my session with this. I will post a video of behind the scenes of the session. And then also I plan on making some more videos of making some floral headpieces and wreaths and stuff. So I will put a link once I get those done. So if you enjoyed this and you want to see more, please hit the like button and the subscribe, and you can watch me make more props and follow along with sessions and get other kind of tips. So making this made me really thirsty for some homemade lemonade. So cheers. So here is the final one. And I did swap out the green leaves that I had in there before because these look more authentic to what lemon leaves look like. The other ones I didn't like, so I swapped those out, and there you go.